My name is Caris Met. If you have not come across my channel before, I am passionate about doing videos related to spirituality, self-awareness, and just generally growing as a person. So anything thinking outside the box, seeing things from a higher perspective, that's a good way to describe what I'm very passionate about. And this is the type of content that you will love if that's the focus in terms of what you're passionate about, what you want to know more about. And if that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the bell button so you can see more of my content. Let me take my hairband off. Just to let you know as well, depending on how I feel, most of my videos is kind of free flow and it just comes through. There's not a lot of editing, and there's two reasons because of that, because of time, but also I just like the rawness to it all. And this also is reflected in my nails because they're kind of messy right now. But anyways, I wanted to do this video because I want to talk about how I want to really express, to me, a lot of there's a lot of content out there and people that would in their own right say that they're relationship experts, and they give a lot of advice um, around in terms of men, sometimes women giving advice in terms of how men think and how to make decisions based on their awareness about how men operate, vice versa about how women operate. But obviously, I do think the industry is quite big in terms of women or men giving advice about relationships based on what a man wants and how a man thinks. And yeah, there's also a lot of relationship coaches out there that give content and advice and information around relationships and being a woman and how you should operate in terms of in a relationship and dating when you have high self-worth and you value yourself. And I want to say first, before I go into my rant and just express my annoyance of it on some level, is that I've found a lot of things that I've watched very helpful at times. There's definitely it's definitely very helpful, especially when a lot of us haven't had maybe the best example of a functioning healthy relationship in terms of what we've seen as children. And that's not dissing my parents, but generally a lot of us haven't seen the best type of example in terms of relationships. So when you're a self-awareness personality type, that you generally like to reflect on stuff and question stuff and grow as an individual, you're probably going to go down the route, especially if you're someone that's always maybe had a desire to be in a relationship and just loves love. You're going to go down that route to try to understand relationships and understand yourself better through relationships. So I'm one of those people, and I find relationships fascinating and love fascinating, and something that I'm always on a soul level I want in my life. And when I do have love in my life, I really do flourish, to be honest. I flourish as a person and grow so much because that's just on a soul level, that's where I'm most comfortable, and that's probably the case for most people. But yeah, going back to my point in terms of watching this type of content and maybe even going to get advice from a relationship coach, that there can be a lot of helpful content. But this is the point that I'm going to make now in terms of what you need to be careful of, that a lot of the time these individuals are giving expert advice based on their experiences. And something that I truly believe in is, and obviously I have to stand true in terms of this is my truth, and if it resonates with you, then it's obviously your truth as well. In terms of, they give advice from their perspective in terms of what they see as a healthy, happy relationship. And what people need to realize is that relationships and what we want in relationships, and what most importantly what we need in a relationship, is very individual. So when these people are giving advice on men, for example, I should say, and they're kind of saying, well, women, this is how men operate, and this is what they want, and this is what they do when they're manipulating you and they don't really love you. This is what they will do, and these are the 5 signs. When this information can be helpful to a certain extent, but your relationships and what you need is going to be very individual. And let me explain more what I mean by that. Most of these relationship coaches and the information they're given, personally to me, where they're going wrong or where they can only get you so far is because they're seeing stuff from a very earthly human perspective. And if you know me, like I said in the intro, my stuff is very much soul spiritual based, self-awareness. Let's see stuff from a higher perspective. So a lot of the times they're missing that soul aspect. And on a soul level, we're individuals, so we will need things and need to experience certain things. And actually, just personality types, we will see that someone loves us and values us based on what we need on a personality level, on a soul level, more strongly. And also in terms of the soul perspective, we will experience certain things in relationships to grow as an individual. And a lot of people that come into our life and some people that stay in our life might trigger us, either if we've met our soulmate and it's someone that you, to me personally, that you have an affinity with, that you can grow together. Sometimes it's for a short amount of time or your whole of your life, but you have an affinity. There's a resonance on a soul level, even if you don't have similarities in every single way. To me, that's not a soulmate. Generally, you might have some similarities, but generally on a soul level, you have an affinity together, unexplainable closeness and bond and love for each other. And on a soul level, they are here to fulfill some sort of soul contract, and that can be something so quite karmic in terms of a quite harsh lesson, or it can be just generally to be your best friend during this lifetime. Also, soulmates personally to me doesn't have to be romantic. 1 second, guys, let me just pause the video. I hope I remember where I was. Sorry about that, guys. I had some lovely food in the oven that I had to take out. Just thought I'd share that with you. So a lot of these relationship coaches, personally to me, they're missing the soul element. And a lot of them, to me, maybe I'm idealistic, but they can kind of narrate. A lot of them have issues with either with women or men, I personally think. And they're projecting how they see stuff onto the other and giving people expert advice and saying all men are like this, all women are like this. And they're missing the soul perspective. So if you're coming to someone for advice about someone you're dating or in a relationship with, and they're saying, oh no honey, he's not right for you, if he was right for you, he would be doing A, B and C. And not firstly, not all, I'm not saying this is the case. I'm sure there's lots of relationship coaches out there that are more, even if it's not a soul perspective, see more the spiritual and personal development that can happen in a relationship. But there is a lot that are very black and white and saying, no honey, if he really loved you, he'll be doing A, B and C. And I think for me, what is missing is, firstly, yes, if someone's coming to you for expert advice, you give your knowledge, but I think relationships are very personable and are such a catalyst in terms of soul growth. So I don't think it's right for someone to be giving their blanket statement advice and not also asking you to go within and trusting your intuition, and also going within to get to know exactly what you need as a person and how you feel in terms of the situation that took place that you need advice on. And I think it's very dangerous when, not very dangerous, but yeah, it can be harmful to people's lives, and people can regret decisions that they've made because they've really really put their investment into this person that's meant to be an expert, and they're giving them this blanket statement in terms of, oh no, if they do X, Y, and Z, get rid of them. And that person, for example, could be missing soul lessons that they're meant to experience, and also just general happiness. And a lot of the times, yes, there can be situations where someone is just damn not treating you the way that you should be treated, and it's just not for you. And it's not for you in terms of in terms of a long-term relationship, because not everyone can be the one. So there's all that at play. But there's also a lot of times in relationships, what needs to be improved is actually self-work, communication. And a lot of things can be a situation where the communication needs to be worked on. You need to start to see things from more of a soul perspective in terms of what is that person like mirroring to me, what in me is making me feel triggered in a situation. And I think also there's a lot of missing of taking accountability of the soul growth that's in this potential situation that's in front of you. And it's not saying that you take responsibility for people's actions, especially when they hurt you. Doesn't mean that. It means having that self-awareness to know in every given situation, not just relationships, but relationships are such a catalyst for growth. There's always the opportunity for you to go back within yourself to actually feel and acknowledge what that situation is teaching you, and also to get answers as well in terms of, should I keep this person in my life or should I let them go? All these things we can find within ourselves. And I think relationship coaches and people that share that type of information should really include that element. So with that, I'm going to check in. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, it's just, let me round it off. I'm definitely not saying for people to tolerate toxic people in their life in terms of relationships, platonic, romantic, whatever, but I'm talking more about romantic relationships. I'm not saying that at all, but I do feel like a lot of these relationship experts, self-love experts, give a lot of blanket statements, blanket advice, and say, if you don't do A, B, and C, then you don't love yourself. If you don't do A and B, C, then this man's going to keep taking the piss and using you and keep doing this stuff because they don't value you. And I just blanket. I just want to say that especially when it comes to relationships, and relationships can be so complicated, there has to be that spiritual, intuitive, inner aspect when you make decisions. And just even if you're in a long-term relationship, there has to be that self-awareness work. There has to be that inner work, because even if you're in a relationship where you know that person's the one for you and you plan to spend the rest of your life with them, and you both believe in that, they're still going to trigger you. There's still going to be ups and downs. And I do feel like it's not just relationship experts, but it's just the things that are kind of shoved into our subconscious, the conditioning. A lot of us are looking for this perfect relationship, and also looking for things that actually, on a soul level, are not really what we need in terms of what we are looking for in a relationship. And obviously we learn that through dating. But a lot of us are looking for, firstly, for someone to complete us, and that's a downhill battle. I've done it. It doesn't work. And then also kind of thinking the sign is for, in terms of a the one is when everything is perfect. And if you believe in that, you will be continuously disappointed, because even when you meet someone that is giving you what you need on a surface level and also on a soul level, you're going to still have ups and downs. They're still going to piss you off without them realizing, and you're going to do the same for them as well. So it's really important that we continuously work on ourselves, work on our intuition, work on our spirituality, our connection with God, source, divine, universe, whatever resonates with you. Personally, what I'm trying to say is that in any sort of relationship, dating or a long-term relationship, personally to me, I feel like that spiritual element needs to be cultivated, and that muscle needs to be worked on, because I feel like without that self-awareness and self-awareness of ourself, um we start to make decisions about our relationships based on other people, and I think relationships are very individual. So with that, I'm going to say bye. I hope this video has helped you, and please like if it has. Please share if you feel like, damn Caris, this would really help A, B and C, my friend. Please share, and I will see you in my next video. Take care guys. Bye.